When we're learning drafting, we need to know the basic terminology, and that's really front, top, and right views, where they're at, how to find them, and all of that. And when I'm teaching things, I need a good visual. So let's design one. So the idea here is that we're going to be able to make some type of shape. I'm thinking like an L shape that clearly shows the front, top, left, right views with text, and then also has outlines on the edges. So first off, we're going to start with the general shape. It needs to be large enough that you can view it from a distance, but it also needs to be small enough that I'm not using like tons and tons and tons of filament to kind of use it up there. So I think something like this is going to be where we're at. I'm going to make it a total of 5 inches by 2 inches tall by probably 3 inches deep. It's going to be what I think we're going to do here. All right, so now I have that. I drew that on the front view for a very particular reason, because this is going to be the front, this is going to be the top, the right. You get the idea if you've done drafting stuff. So I'm going to sketch on here, and then I'm going to go to offset, and I'm going to pull in these edges. So all of these edges here are going to get cut back just a touch. And that's going to make more sense here, hopefully, in just a couple of moments here. But I'm going to go with something really small. We'll finish that sketch, and I'm going to extrude that by the same amount. So I'm going to remove that 0.075. And the idea with this is that there's going to be a cutback reveal. I'm actually going to do that way less. So let's just do that. Yeah, that's better. But the idea here is that I'm going to color this one color and then on here another color, so that there's a visual difference and you can visually see the edges of stuff. I often find that my students struggle being able to see those kind of small differences, so I want to kind of bring that up. We're also going to put on the words itself. So we'll go into our text tool and just drag it in there like that, and just type in front. And Robato's fine, I guess. And then I need to dimension this so that, like, you know, it's going to fit where I need it to fit. So where do I just want to put it down there? That's fine. I am going to dimension from side to side though, just to make sure. So 1 inch there. Let's do 1.25 inches on both of these. We'll finish that, and then we're going to extrude the whole text area the same out. All right, so now what I can do is when I export this and bring it into Bambu Studio, I'll be able to set colors for these back areas and then the main piece. But I need to do the same thing with all of this. So I'm going to sketch on here and do the same thing. So we're going to go to offset again. We'll drag there, 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 and there. Oh, it's not going to let me do that one. Okay. So what I can also do is just go back into Sketch and hit G for rectangle and offset all of that. Now, I'm going just to the edge here because I don't need it to be all the way up to that point. So I did 0.075. Do the same thing here, 0.075, and then the same thing down here, 0.075. Cool. Finish that sketch, extrude just that little U shape, and remove that 0.05. Now, I have to decide if I want to do it as the entire shape, like all the way around, so you can see all the different views, or if I'm just going to stick with just this, just to see the edges, which is what I'm more leaning towards. I do need to sketch on there, and I know I could have done this at the same time, but I didn't. Leave me alone. We'll go on here, and this is going to be the right view. So we'll do that, and then we'll dimension from there to there. It's 0.375. Does that work? And from here to there, 0.375. I guess we need to set on a height there. Oops, that's a little too much. There we go. All right, and I'm going to continue going through. I'll get the top on here, the top here, the right there. I may do the left, the bottom. Like, I may do all that, or I may just stick with the main ones. But I want to make sure that basically I have this thing so when I rotate it for my students, they can actually see what it is, read the stuff, and kind of see the edges. So this main block is going to be one color, and then these indents around the edges, and the text is going to be a different color. And we'll jump into that in just a moment. All right, so here's the final model. I did scale back the cut-ins just a little bit because I realized, one, it doesn't need to go back that far, and two, I need to color both edges here in order for it to, when we rotate around, be able to see all the edges properly and fully. I did not add any words to the left side, the bottom, or the back, because really when we're looking at teaching this, it's front, top, right, and then obviously isometrics. So that's kind of the setup here. So we're going to export that and we're going to bring it into Bambu Studio, and we'll see exactly what we have to work with here. So we'll open that bad boy up. We have it there. And then what we need to do is we need to get this thing painted to be the colors that we want it to be. So we have two choices that we could go with here. I'm going to use black and white filament for this. It's just really, do I want the body to be black and then the highlights to be white? Or do I want the body to be white and the highlights to be black? I don't think it really matters, but we'll get it set up there. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to go up to this paint bucket up here on the top right-hand side, or I can hit the letter N. And this is going to be our color painting tool. There are 5 or 6 different tools that you have here. You have a circle, a sphere, a triangle, a height range, fill, and then gap fill. I'm going to go in with fill on this. And all I want to do is select my 2 colors, and I'm going to find all of these edges that I want to be black. So I'm just going to slowly start selecting all of these various edges that I can see. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the letters. I'm going to rotate through the letters a little differently. Oops, not that. And then we'll go through here. One of the problems I have when I'm working in slicing software doing this stuff is I'm used to CAD work when I want to rotate, which is usually holding the mouse wheel in and rotating. With Bambu, and I believe Orca Slicer as well, you just click, hold, and drag, just not on the part. So that's a little different, and that's why I misclick a lot when I'm in this program, because it's doing things that I'm not used to doing. But we're just going through here. We'll get all of this stuff in there and set up. And then we'll go through and we'll get it printed. I'll be back in a sec with the slice and all that. All right, and here's the final version of the print for now. I may change some things here. But we can see that it's a total print time of 12.5 hours. And then if we take a look here, it's going to be a $7 part as far as filament goes. It's going to change out filament 252 times. And our total usage of filament is 280 grams of filament. The tower itself is only going to use 19. You can see the wiping tower here. It is a beautiful hot mess. I can't wait to see how that turns out. So we're going to upload this over to the print. We have our colors selected, and we'll send it over to the printer, and I'll be back in 12.5 hours to see how it went. Here is the final print after it's all said and done. You can see the top and right is clear, the tower looks beautiful, and there is a ton of poop. This thing wasted a lot of material. Half of the print is really just waste material. Here it is a little bit more in detail. You can see the nice finished bottom. I didn't put anything on the sides, but you can see the outlines all there. We have our front, top, right. And the idea here is that I'm going to be able to use this as an instructional aid, so I can show my students exactly kind of what's what, where things go, and how to line up front, top, and right views as an easy visual.